We learned about more DC games that are incoming. We got a big update on the Halo franchise with hints at a PlayStation 5 release and way more gaming news to go over. So sit back and let's go. After many leaks, it has finally been confirmed. Red Dead Redemption is coming to PC on October 29th, more than 14 years after the launch on PS3 and Xbox 360, which kinda wild to think about. But it still looks great. So this PC version supports up to native 4K resolution, up to 144Hz, ultra wide and even super ultra wide, HDR10, and of course full keyboard and mouse functionality. You can also use Nvidia DLSS 3.7 and the AMD FSR 3.0 upscaling technology also works, and it comes with the Undead Nightmare DLC, but no multiplayer from the looks of it. So yeah, really curious who this is for. People who probably never owned a console in their life, I would bet. This was like $50 when it came out on PS4 last year, so I'm expecting the same price here on PC. Let me know if you are going to get this, but that October 29 date is by the way crazy. So this is 2 days before Dragon Age the Veilguard and 2 days before Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. So lots of games launching around a Horizon title again, and Ubisoft also announced that Assassin's Creed Mirage is coming to Steam this month. No date yet, so then it's probably in the final week you would think, right? So 4 big PC, similar kind of titles in 1 week. Crazy. It will be a while though before we see Warner Bros. Montreal's new game, but we know a bit more about it. So they launched Gotham Knights almost 2 years ago now, and are now hiring for a senior producer. So first, the website said that this person would join the game development team working on AAA titles set in DC Comics universe. But if we look at the job opening now, we actually see that was removed. We still see though that this person will oversee all phases and teams of development of a single project, from the concept phase through its release. So yeah, they're doing a big new DC project, but again, seems like there are more in the works. Like, this one seems to be for a title that is still far away, if they now are looking for a senior producer that is also helping with the concepting. But earlier, like a year before Gotham Knights release, we learned that Warner Bros. Montreal was working on a second project, and since then there have been rumblings about a new single-player game based on Unreal Engine 5. I had a good time with Gotham Knights, even though the 30 FPS and sometimes clunky combat did not help the game, so I think them moving to Unreal Engine 5 could really help. Like, there were still a ton of cool things in that game, like going after the different villains and the really cool different outfits you could get. So I'm curious what this team does next, although I did some extra digging and it really seems that all the directors on Gotham Knights are now not at Warner Bros. Montreal anymore. The creative director is now a creative director at an unannounced project at Ubisoft Montreal. I'm curious what that is. And the game director on Gotham Knights is now a creative director at People Can Fly, the developers that did Outriders most recently. And again, a lot of other directors are gone as well, so not much is left of the original leadership team. Still, I'm keeping an eye out. More DC games, I think, is always great. Now let's look at that Halo upgrade. It's pretty interesting, and other gaming news. Of course, if you like these big gaming news roundup videos, then leave a like, that would really help me out. And subscribe, because we post one of these every Sunday. Maybe you already saw the new Halo footage. Yes, they're ditching their own engine in favor of Unreal Engine 5, and they give many reasons for that. One, it's easier for them to just focus on building a game and not having to work on an engine at the same time. And they want to be known for the best-in-class graphics again, like the older titles, while Infinite was of course not a looker. Although it totally improved over the first gameplay reveal. Maybe you remember this, it got memed into oblivion, especially for this image of an enemy who we all named Crack. Good times. So this footage we're seeing now is not any game project, but it's more to show what the next Halo games can look like. Master Chief still feels kind of like an action figure in a Toy Story movie, but the environments do look very impressive. But another big reason, and maybe the biggest reason they're probably moving to this engine, is because it's way easier to then port their games to PlayStation. This is actually what Digital Foundry is suggesting, but it gets more interesting as back in June, The Verge reported that Microsoft was looking to bring the first Halo game as a remaster or remake to PS5. And I would totally play this, as someone who did not own an original Xbox or 360, so never really got to play the first game, but would totally do it on PS5 with better graphics. Basically, all the rumors of 343, the developers behind Halo, switching to Unreal are now true, and the PS5 version was also part of that rumor, so I believe it. And I said 343 Studios, by the way, but they renamed themselves the Halo Studios. They got multiple projects in development and are hiring big time. They basically see this as a reset, a new starting point. They hope you forget about all the Halo games they made and how the series is still nowhere near the franchise it once was. So for me, a video where they talk about how exciting things are doesn't really cut it. They got a ton to prove. I wish them the best, of course, like a successful Halo is good for the industry, and I'm sure they're aiming to have the next big game ready for new Xbox hardware in a few years. I'm curious to hear your take, of course, about all this in the comments. Alien Isolation released 10 years ago, and to celebrate the anniversary they announced that a sequel to the horror title is in development at Creative Assembly. They're one of the most recent studios that went out of their comfort zone to make a colorful hero shooter like game, Hyenas. This one got even cancelled before it released, and now they're going back to what they actually know they can make, like their strategy games, and of course now also this horror project seems like a smart bet. It is still in early development though, although rumors a month ago stated that the game was already in development for 3 months, so this rumor started before the official announcement. Still, it will likely be a while before we see Alien Isolation 2, but let me know if you look forward to it in the comments. Sony revealed the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium games for October that will go live on October 15th. Some highlights include Devil in Me, the Dark Pictures Anthology, one of the many choice-based horror games by the Until Dawn developers. The very colorful puzzle platformer Gris, that has an 83 on Metacritic, will be joining PS Plus Extra and Premium, but the highlight is totally Dead Island 2. I had a surprisingly good time with it when it came out, and now on October 22nd, so a year and a half later, they're actually launching a big free update with New Game Plus and also an entirely new mode that looks way bigger than I first anticipated. For one, it features brand new classes, not the characters they already had in the base game, and they all have unique weapons and abilities. The idea is that you basically have to work together, complete missions to get powerful enough to then fight waves of zombies by using traps, etc, etc. It's also set in a new area of LA, looks great, and the fact that every character now has their own benefits and powers, one can even heal the team, it really seems that they want to focus more on a co-op experience, while in the base game you were basically just running around killing stuff and there was not much teamwork required. But yeah, at least checking the full game if you have PS Plus Extra, I think it's worth it, but this mode looks like a fun free addition as well. Now this coming week I will have an Assassin's Creed Shadows video going over some recent leaks and info. Other videos are also coming your way with of course a news roundup like this at the end of the week, so subscribe to not miss that. A like would really help me out, and check out my recent video on the future of Assassin's Creed that got leaked. You can watch it by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.